Welcome back to WWE 2K25, a universe mode. It is NXT time, and we are kicking things off with Kelani Jordan taking on the mysterious Wendy Choo. Then we've got Stax Lorenzo of the family taking on one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, Wolfgang of Gallus. We've got the Hen Ring debut after the stunning arrival of Zarya as she takes on Thea Hale. Got Wes Lee versus Ricky Saints, and in our main event, a 1-on-3 gauntlet match. We'll get into this later. Javon Evans taking on Miles Bourne, Tavian Heights, and Charlie Dempsey of the No Quarter Catch crew. What a show we've got for you here tonight. Let's get into it. As Kelani Jordan enters, we have a post from earlier from our NXT champion, Oba Femi. He says, "I am a man of my word, Tyler. You are a worthy first challenger for the ruler. With the gold on the line, however, I will not be merciful. You have been warned." And thus we can announce that next week on NXT, Oba Femi will defend the NXT championship against Tyler Bate, man who bested him in non-title action last week. But enough about that, let's talk about this woman, Kelani Jordan. Whole NXT women's division has kind of been a cluster as of recent. A lot to do with Kelani's opponent here tonight. We're about to introduce that being Wendy Choo. Mysterious, possibly magical Wendy Choo has enacted somewhat of a spell over some of the NXT women's division. And here she is, and that behind her, notably, is JC Jane. Very interesting. JC Jane seemingly, I want to say, under the spell of Wendy Choo, this mysterious being. And now JC Jane looking to possibly do Wendy Choo's bidding here as her, I guess, right hand. But Kelani Jordan taking a bit of reservation to Wendy Choo's actions, and also just trying to build herself up in the NXT Women's division. Of course, Wendy Choo failed to take the NXT Women's title off of Blair Davenport at Battleground. Kelani Jordan maybe wants the next crack at Davenport, as they are gonna go one-on-one here tonight. They're gonna lock up now. Jordan looking to, I guess, make somewhat of a statement. Of course, came up short in the Battleground Fatal 5-Way to challenge for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Of course, won by Sol Ruka, the former champion already. More on that later. But Wendy Choo looking maybe to get another chance at Blair Davenport. Gotta think her contenders are going to be licking their chops. Davenport has a sturdy women's division to contend with, as Jordan now is just gonna wrench in on the arm. Slow start here. Gotta wonder if Kelani Jordan is just trying to work down Wendy Choo instead of making any brash moves, of course, especially with JC Jane on the outside, so unpredictable this has suddenly become. Any challenge or attempts to fight Wendy Choo. You've also got to worry about JC Jane now on the outside, who's gonna go under the ring now. She sends a kendo stick into the ring. Gotta wonder what that could be all about, as Choo now is just gonna send Jordan into the corner. Referee is gonna toss that kendo stick right back at JC Jane. And now Choo backs away, but she's gonna lift. Whoa! Took Jordan down there, but Kelani, huge moonsault to a standing Choo. Does not stand for long though. Kelani now with the upper hand. And now she's gonna go for another one. Huge moonsault, a second one. Right to the abdomen of Wendy Choo. Jordan not playing games here. Kelani wants to show that she means business here. Wants to prove that she belongs here in the NXT Women's Division. Wants to prove that she is a worthy challenger for Blair Davenport. Gotta think Davenport has a lot of challengers lined up and is gonna be watching every women's match here on this brand very intently. Jordan, another moonsault. That one causes her to crash and burn as Jane is gonna take the turnbuckle off of the ring post. Interesting, or the pad off the turnbuckle, I guess, as Choo just lays into Kelani Jordan. Hasn't really been able to utilize any of JC Jane's help as of right now, but she's holding her own. But so is Kelani Jordan, who's got a backslide. No, that was a bit of a backslide bomb there. And now Kelani is going to go after Jane, no. Possibly just looking to intimidate JC Jane to show her, hey, it might be 2-on-1 effectively, but I'm not scared. I'm not scared of whatever mind games you have in store. But now Wendy Choo back in control. She's just going to get back in the ring. Doesn't really mind a count-out victory as, whoa, JC Jane stomps on Kelani Jordan. Referee going to let it slide, but gotta think she might. Oh, I believe JC Jane just got banned from ringside. She's in dismay. But yeah, the referee said, hey, JC Jane, get out of here. Sick of her antics already. You can't imagine that Wendy Choo is too happy about that. I guess her devout follower, perhaps, getting banned from ringside in such quick order, but Choo is going to try and get it done on her own. Kelani taking some reservation to that. Again, Blair Davenport, NXT Women's Champion. Successful defense against Choo under her belt. Gotta think she's wondering what's next. Very stacked women's division. Huge crossbody there from Wendy Choo. Kelani Jordan to Wendy Choo. But it's only getting bigger. We have a big announcement later on in the show. 450 splash! Burying the lead there. 1, 2. No, Wendy Choo able to get the shoulders up. Pushes Jordan off. But Kelani remains in control. But we've got a big announcement pertaining to the women's division coming up shortly as huge Hurricane Rana, courtesy of Kelani Jordan. Now she is firmly in control here. This is not good for Wendy Choo. Split leg, moonsault. That could be all she wrote. 1, 2. Huge victory for Kelani Jordan as she moves up in the power rankings. Kelani takes advantage of JC Jane getting banned from ringside pretty early. And now, you got to imagine she is going to be staking a claim to that NXT Women's Championship. Blair Davenport can't be happy seeing a very dominant performance from one of the most athletic women here in NXT, and Kelani Jordan gets a statement win over someone like Wendy Choo, who's been so dominant thus far in the series. But not enough to overcome the standout Kelani Jordan. Celebrate that big victory in the opening contest here in NXT. We got a lot more show for you coming up. Stay tuned. Channing Stacks Lorenzo takes on Wolfgang next. Wolfgang, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions. Both guys telling their teammates, hey, stay back. I got this tonight. Let's see who will come out on top, and it will be Lorenzo. Perhaps staking a claim for the family to be the first challengers to Gallus, those NXT Tag Team Champions. He and D'Angelo might be looking for those titles sooner or later. After a shocking debut at the end of last week's edition of NXT, Zarya makes her in-ring debut. Of course, Zarya attacked new NXT Women's North American Champion Fallon Henley at the end of last week's NXT. Did not give Fallon any time to celebrate her big victory. But speaking of new additions to the women's division, we have a colossal announcement. Next week will be the debut of Julia. Highly touted free agent NXT scooped her right up, and Julia will make her NXT debut next week. But will Zarya have a successful NXT debut? And she does not. A little foul play from Fallon Henley gets Thea Hale the upset victory. Upset of a lifetime for Thea Hale. Gotta think she's gonna be staking claim to that title. Been using that phrase a little too much this episode. I apologize for that. But Zarya gets upset off a roll-up. Of course, Fallon Henley running some interference. Can't think that Zarya's too happy about that. Wesley and Ricky Saints in our penultimate match here tonight. Ricky Saints is one victory, one loss against Ethan Page. Now looking to branch out as he takes on Wesley, and Ricky Saints gets the victory over Wesley. Rochambeau, not enough for the Cardiac Kid, or I don't know if he's still calling himself that now that he's heel and he sucks. Ricky Saints gets a dominant victory, and it is time for our main event, a 1-on-3 gauntlet turmoil match. Javon Evans versus Middle Quarter Catch Crew. More on that in just a second. Here's the deal. Javon Evans went to General Manager Shawn Michaels. He said, hey, I deserve an NXT North American title match. I've beaten Charlie Dempsey before, and I know I can do it again. Charlie Dempsey put out a challenge to Javon Evans. If you can beat all three of us, all three of No Quarter Catch crew who just had a successful debut last week on NXT, beat all three of us, well, I'll give you your match. Maybe. Evans said, hey, I'm one for a challenge. Let's do it. You gotta think, is this clever of Javon Evans? He's young, he's maybe a little impressionable, maybe a little too hungry for these opportunities, not willing to wait it out until a better one comes. But hey, you gotta admire young bloods, young OG's willingness to fight, even if the odds are stacked against him. Let's see which member of the No Quarter Catch crew he will start off against. Has to beat all of them to get that title match. And it will be, one of them, Miles Bourne! The kid is here, Miles Bourne, beelining it to the ring now, as he is going to look to put away Javon Evans early. I mean, you got to think that would buy him some favor with the leader of the No Quarter Catch crew, the NXT North American Champion, Charlie Dempsey, if he manages to get the victory over Evans, save some energy, save some strength for both Dempsey and Tavian Heights. But Javon Evans, can't imagine he's going to let that happen. And Evans is gonna know. He gets dropkicked right off the bat. Miles Bourne strikes first. Gotta think even if he can't get the victory, he's gonna want to wear down Evans as much as he can. Give Heights and Dempsey the chance to really put him away. Huge snapmare. Just neck breaker there. As Miles Bourne is gonna go right after Javon Evans. Evans yet to get some offense in here. Now they're gonna lock up Javon. I mean, if you're Miles Bourne, you want to slow the pace down as much as you can. Javon Evans he's called bouncy for a reason, and he certainly is that. But if you can slow him down for even any, it will be huge for not only you but your teammates as well. They're just gonna lock up. I mean, you'd argue even if Evans had Bourne pushed up against the rope last time, now roles are reversed. They're gonna break. That is a tactical advantage for Miles Bourne. You want to be doing chain wrestling. You want to be grappling and in this technical style. It's not Javon Evans' strong suit. The high flying, that quick, high paced off the ropes, the springboards, the handsprings, the top rope maneuvers. That is Javon Evans' bread and butter. If you can wear him down enough, then that is really putting the match in the driver's seat. Putting you in the driver's seat of the match. Sorry. He's just going to work on the arm of Javon. Bourne is just working on him. Oh, goodness. That leg sweep sends Javon down, and he's going to go for the quick cover. 1, 2, no. Evans might already be a little fatigued there. Hasn't really gotten any offense in, but now he's going to look to take advantage. Javon is going to now spring off the ropes. Hurricane Rana, and that's exactly where you don't want to be if you're Miles Bourne. You don't want to let Javon get this advantage. You don't want to let him fly. You don't want to let him bounce. And that's exactly what the young OG is doing right now. But a snap fisherman suplex. Beautiful. Javon kips right up. Evans runs right into another suplex. Great display of technical and really just some power moves from Miles Bourne. Gets Randy Orton comps, both in appearance and style. Big German suplex. Javon Evans, maybe I'm underrating his technical and pure wrestling ability. That's a big Superman punch. The moonsault does not connect. Javon Evans maybe a little more adaptable than I gave him credit for, as Bourne is going to scout Evans, lifts him up for the power slam. And that's gonna be a shoulder breaker right there. I mean, if you're Miles Bourne, I would say go after the legs. He's going after the arms, going after the shoulders of Evans, but go after the legs. If you take away the legs, you take away so much of Javon's offense. Huge leg drop from Miles Bourne, showing that he too can go up top and fly. 1, 2. No, Javon just barely kicks out, and you gotta think, it's not looking good for Evans. It's not looking good for Javon Evans' future title shot. If he's already struggling this hard against Miles Bourne, the first of 3 that he has to take down tonight. Huge snap bear neck breaker. As Evans, smart, is just gonna roll a little bit. But Bourne has him right where he wants him. Gonna go up to the middle rope. Double axe handle takes Evans down. Javon has just really not been able to get an edge in this match. Makes you wonder, maybe there's some sort of lingering injury with Javon. Maybe it's a mental thing, knowing you have to take down 3 opponents. But he's gonna rally right there. Huge abdomen shot off the double axe handle. And now Evans up against the ropes, though. That little burst of momentum was short-lived. Huge knee to the gut of Evans, Jesus. Now he's going to go after the arm again. I mean, you take away that cutter. I mean, I guess I do understand Bourne's strategy to take away that cutter if you take away the shoulders and the arms of Evans, but now go after the legs. Javon is struggling something fierce here. And now Bourne just has him by the wrist. Javon, oh, huge basement drop kick. And now Evans, he's going to rally. Much needed comeback here from Evans, who sweeps the leg. Javon now looking for a second wind, anything to get him any fraction of momentum in this match. Frog splash right to the back of Miles Bourne. And now Javon, referee, get out of the goddamn way. Evans, avalanche cutter. Springboard cutter off the top rope. That could put Bourne away. 1, 2. No, Miles Bourne kicks out. Javon Evans possibly just threw him his best shot. And Miles Bourne gets right back up from it. Javon really needs to rally here. He needs to put something together so he doesn't go down against the first of 3 men. As, whoa, nice. Inverted sort of back, not DDT, but impaler DDT. Something, something like it from Miles Bourne. Showing off that impressive arsenal of maneuvers. And now Bourne is just gonna tie Evans up here. Dragon Sleeper! Oh my god, elevates him off the ground there. The core strength of Miles Bourne to even pull that off. I know Javon Evans is not exactly the heaviest on the roster, but still. Elbow drop to the heart of Javon Evans. And that has to be it. 1, 2. Javon shows a little heart there. I mean, he's showing resilience for what he's lacked in offense during this match. He's certainly showing that he has the resilience to hang with the best of them. But Miles Bourne, gotta think he is impressing in this match. Might show that his ceiling is above that of a tag team guy. But Javon Evans really needs to pull something together here if he wants to make it to, I mean, Tavian Heights, much less Charlie Dempsey. He wants to make it through the gauntlet. If he wants a shot at the NXT North American title, he needs to put something together. But this flatliner might just put him away. This flatliner might just put him away. 1, 2, 3. Javon Evans goes down against Miles Bourne, barely getting any offense in. My god. What a stunner. What a stunner here. Javon Evans must be dealing with some sort of injury. We will look back on this next week on NXT, but Javon Evans, as it stands, does not get an NXT North American Championship shot. Miles Bourne gotta be feeling like he's on top of the world right now. Gotta think the NQCC are gonna be popping some bottles when they get backstage. That's gonna be all for NXT. Join us next time for SmackDown, and thank you for watching.